Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And this is a pick a card reading from my weird personal deck. So in a moment here, I'm going to let you guys choose a crystal to pick your card here. But first, let's just talk real quick about what is my personal deck, or what is my weird personal deck, so you have a little bit of context before you go into this reading. So I wrote down all of these messages during the beginning of my spiritual awakening process, which was around 5 years ago. And some of these messages come from one of my favorite websites called spiritanimals.com. So I definitely want to shout out spiritanimals.com because some of these messages were abbreviated from that or inspired by that. And then some of these messages were just things that I was learning along my path. So each one of these cards has a very specific meaning to me. Like I basically wrote down all of the lessons and all the messages I was getting during the beginning of my spiritual awakening. And I was obviously learning a lot, you guys. There's a lot of cards in this deck. This is a deck I use for myself. I pull a card from it every once in a while to remind myself of these lessons. I use it for manifestation. I use it just as a good luck charm. But occasionally I feel guided to pull a card during a personal reading for this, and I think I've done a pick a card with this deck before. Just a little disclaimer, since all of this was written down in the heat of the moment, the paintings, the drawings, the writing is very sloppy, very scribbly. Some of the better drawings were done by my husband, like this one. This is my weird picture of a Cocker Spaniel. This is my attempt at making a koi fish. I'm a little bit better at abstract paintings or abstract drawings, personally. So I just want to point that out. This is very personal to me, and so it's like sharing with you guys like my baby or something. But I hope that you enjoy the messages from this deck. Let me know if it resonates with you before, and let me know if you think I should do more readings with this deck, okay? So I've got 4 options for you guys today. You can choose number 1, the malachite crystal. Number 2, the snowflake obsidian. Number 3, the tiger's eye. And number 4, the blue jasper. Once you have chosen, you can head down below to the timestamps that will be posted in the description and in the comments below. So you can just click on that timestamp and instantly fast forward to your part in the reading. And I'll see you soon. So for those of you guys who choose number 1, the card that you're getting is the frenemy card. So I'm just gonna read this card to you and then tell you a little bit about what I feel coming up in your specific situation, okay? Sometimes people come into your life as an answer to your prayers and as a blessing. And sometimes people come into our life to teach us important lessons about our personal boundaries and self-respect. Do you have a repeated pattern of being screwed over by friends and by lovers? Did your birth parents or caregivers screw you over? Perhaps this is where you learned it was okay to accept to be treated less than you deserve. It is time to choose yourself first. Delete, block, no contact, move on. You will have to learn how to protect this light and this love that you carry. There will be people who will mooch off of it and take advantage of you if you let them. Make room for like-minded people who will treat you how you treat others. So I wrote this card down at a time in my life where I had left like an abusive home life behind. And then I started realizing, because I had been through that abuse and that's kind of all I knew, I had friends or people around me that were very similar to how I was treated growing up. Like they act similarly. It just felt familiar to me, so I naturally gravitated towards toxic or narcissistic people. And I remember just looking around and going, oh my gosh, is it me? Am I the common denominator? So the first thing I did was like work on any toxic tendencies or like habits I had. But then there was a certain point where I realized, okay, well, there's some people who are just gonna take advantage of you, no matter how kind you are, no matter how much you try, no matter how much you give, no matter how much you work on yourself, there will be people who don't have the best intentions. And it's a whole other conversation to figure out if those people in your life, your friends, your parents, your lover, whatever, is conscious of it, because some people do consciously go out and abuse people and, you know, create chaos. And then some people are just a little hurt in life. They've been through trauma and stuff. They're not conscious of it, and they go out and they say mean things and they do mean things and they take advantage of people, and they're very draining to your energy. What's hard is when you're an empath and you can look at someone, you can look at people and you can see the good in them. You can look at people and you can see the potential. You can let things kind of roll off your back. I think it's easy sometimes to be a doormat when you're an empath. And sometimes we're afraid of hurting other people's feelings because we're so sensitive, we don't want to rock the boat. So sometimes we end up just being a doormat or just taking it or staying in friendships or relationships a lot longer than we actually really feel comfortable with. When you release friends that are toxic, or the toxic boyfriend or the toxic girlfriend, or even distance yourself from toxic family through low contact or no contact, you make room in your life for yourself, first of all, to be who you truly are and to not feel so much judgment. You have more energy emotionally and physically to like work on your goals and your dreams, and a lot less stress and chaos in your life, which is really nice. But then you make room for people who might be more on your vibe, people who are a lot more gentle with you, maybe people who match your energy. Like, you won't just be the only person giving. You'll learn how to receive and return and have that equal flow of energy between you and another friend. So I'm not here to tell you who this person is or really what you need to do about this necessarily, but I can give you some advice if you're open to hearing it, is really think closely, especially now that you're in isolation. Like, a lot of people are in lockdown right now. Maybe you're watching this video in the future, that's fine, don't disregard this part of the message, but if you're watching this during the lockdown from COVID-19, you've had a little bit of distance and space, perhaps from some of these toxic people. And so when you go back out in the world, you have a chance to maybe ignore some of these people or release them or spend less time around them. Maybe you're realizing how much more like happy you are and how much you can truly be yourself and have space alone to your thoughts without this person or these people in your life. Some of you might be in lockdown with this person. Maybe your best friend is your roommate and they're also really toxic and codependent and energetically draining, and that you're just like, wow, this is so intense, I can't handle this energy. And so you're starting to really realize, I think I need to move out, or I think I need to put some boundaries up or get some space, or, you know, decide what it is I want to do about this. Maybe some of you guys are locked down with toxic family or narcissistic family. So I want to be clear that if you find yourself in a situation that's toxic or where you feel like you're being abused, you did not attract it. It's not your fault. I know here on this message it said something about like it's time to choose yourself first, like where you learned it was okay. I think that might apply a little bit more to friendships, but honestly, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you have a great relationship with someone for years and something happens and they change and you change and you just realize you're on different vibes. They're draining your energy, and it sucks because you feel like, wow, I've invested so much in this friendship. I've invested so much in this relationship, and you keep trying and trying, but it's like you're banging your head against the wall. You know you can't change the other person, so you keep trying to change yourself. You keep trying to adapt to the flow and try to keep the peace, but it's taking so much of your energy. So eventually, the best choice for you in that situation is to create space, to move away from that person physically or energetically, maybe to go low contact, or to just love the person from afar. There's a lot of people in my life that I love from afar. There's been people in my life that I have blocked. There's been people that I've told, this is why I'm blocking you, or I can't be in your life anymore, this and this. And then there's been people I've realized I don't even have time to waste my breath. I know this is awkward, but I'm gonna block them, I'm gonna ghost them, and I just can't. For my own mental health and my own well-being, I just have to walk away from this. So that's crazy, you know, walking away from someone, or just ghosting someone, or just going low contact, or ignoring those phone calls, or those texts sometimes. You might feel guilty, you might feel like scared, like what are they gonna do, but you have to choose yourself first. And I'm a 30-year-old woman now. I'm 30, I can't believe it. And I'm looking back on my 20s. If there was one thing I could tell myself in my 20s, I would go back and say, I mean, no regrets, but hypothetically, I would go back and say, you know what? You don't have to be friends with that person, or you don't have to be friends with those people. You don't have to listen to those people. You don't have to let yourself be treated like that. Like there's better out there for you. That's what I would shake myself and tell myself that, but no regrets, okay? So just trust your intuition. Naturally, these types of relationships will implode. If you don't end it, it will implode. It will end itself. Trust me on that one. Or you can just maybe decide to be the one that steps out of it first. As awkward as that is, you have to trust your intuition. You have to make space. So I hope that this resonates with you. If it doesn't, maybe it just reminds you of something that happened in the past. Maybe you've already released this, and this is the universe just telling you, you did a great job, like wonderful. Maybe you haven't been through this yet. Maybe this is a message for the future, or maybe just pick another card. But if this does resonate with you, let me know in the comments below. And thank you for coming to my channel. Peace out. So for those of you guys who choose number 2, let's get your message from my weird personal deck. And this is a weird one. This is the Love Your Imperfections card, okay? So this is a card that's all about body image, okay? That's all about loving your physical appearance and the way that you look. This is something I have struggled with a lot. I've struggled with eating disorders. I put a post up actually on my Instagram about it. If you want to find me on Instagram, I'm at rainbow__harmony. Just search Rainbow Harmony, you'll find me. It'll be easy. It'll be obvious which Instagram is mine. You'll know when you see it. And I posted actually about my journey with this and shared a little bit about it. I think it's something that so many of us go through, especially as women in an image-based society, you know, especially if you grew up in the 2000s and 90s and all the heroin chic kind of look was in style, and you know, all the skinny models on the runway and people being airbrushed in the magazines, and now there's, you know, people using Facetune and Photoshop and stuff, and all their pictures, and all these influencers that look perfect every time you log in your phone, and you just worry like, am I the only one here that has cellulite? Am I the only one here who has flaws? And you're not. I want you to know that I worked in the fashion industry as a fashion stylist and as a makeup artist. I talk about that all the time on here. And I saw these models in real life, and they are beautiful women, but they got flaws too. They've all got flaws. They've all got insecurities. I also learned why this one body type is like the only one that you see, because when it comes time for designers to make samples, they don't want to use as much material because it's more cost effective. They don't know if the item is going to sell, so they make a sample, they shoot it, they do some campaigning, or they tease it, and then if there's more interest in it, they'll make bigger sizes, and it's just, that's how it goes. Sometimes it's difficult to see how a piece of clothing really looks unless it's on a smaller frame. So it's frustrating, but I actually learned why that was, and I was like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. But I think it's cool how there's so many brands and designers and advertisers and companies these days that are starting to use women of different shapes, of different sizes. There's more modeling agencies that are coming out into the world that are accepting women of different sizes and shapes and skin tones and heights, and I love seeing that diversity. I think it's so great that so many of us women spoke out talked about our body issues, our eating disorders, our body dysmorphia, and all that, and we fought for that, and we've created that. Like, we've all manifested that collectively, that the industry and the images that we're seeing are more inclusive. And so it's a beautiful time. I'm so happy that, like, I'm living in this time to see this. Like, I never thought that was gonna happen. It used to be worse, but we're still being bombarded with ideas of what the ideal human form looks like. And you know what? Maybe there's some guys here too, or maybe there's some people who are trans who feel like I don't pass enough, or that whole bullshit. I feel so bad. Like, you know, people come in different shapes and sizes. Maybe there's people here that identify as non-binary and are frustrated that they have to be thrown into one category or the other and have a bit of dysmorphia because of that. Maybe there's some people here that are men who have more of, maybe aren't the typical male, what they're supposed to be or whatever. And maybe you feel a little insecure because of that, and it's something that holds you back. So it doesn't matter if you're female. I know there's a lot of women following me on this channel, but you know, if you're trans or you're non-binary, or if you're male, this applies to you too. Like, all of us can go through this. So this card says, right now, what is blocking you from moving forward in life is your unacceptance to your physical self. This could also be related to like an emotional unacceptance, like not accepting like your energy or who you are. But honestly, I made this card for body issues. In our image-obsessed society, it's likely that you're caught in the trap of comparison, which we all struggle with from time to time. So the message here is telling you, look, you're not alone. All of us compare ourselves. It's almost impossible to not. And this is actually blocking you from moving forward. And I'll share my personal story with you real quick to show you when I made this card and like how it was blocking me from moving forward. It was when I first started this channel. I just had my hands like this on the screen. I hadn't shown my face on camera. The cover photos weren't really pictures of me. I was so afraid to let people see my face, to look at me, to see me on camera. Funny enough, I had modeled in the past, but a lot of those images were edited, or the angles were distorted. I had makeup on, and so I could control that. But on camera, you can't really control how, if you have a double chin, or if people see this or that. And I really wanted my channel to go to the next level. I really wanted to make a personal connection with people. I wanted to offer Skype video chats, but I was feeling so self-conscious about how I looked. So I just kept making my channel thinking, you know what, people don't ever have to see me. People don't ever have to see how I looked. And then I had that breakthrough, and I like made this card, and I decided I'm gonna put my face in the camera, and I'm gonna start like just coming through the screen and being personal with people by letting them see my face and my energy, becoming a friend. And it was from that moment on that my channel grew, that my business grew. Like the second that I like started putting myself out there more, let people see me, it made just a deeper connection with people. So maybe you are somebody who wants to start a business or do something online or sell your artwork or YouTube or whatever. And this could be what's holding you back. Maybe you're telling yourself it's this or that, but this honestly might just be the only thing that's holding you back. It's just being, you know what, F it. I'm gonna take that selfie, I'm gonna put it up so people know this is who's making the artwork. I'm going to just hit play on YouTube, on my video, and just post it on YouTube and not care anymore about how I look, because I've been wanting to do this forever, and it's just, it is what it is, you know? Maybe you're finally gonna decide to step out of that shadow and that fear of how you look. Because I feel like you're gonna be 80 years old looking back, and you're gonna realize, dang, I was a snack back then. If I could have my youth back, I would do this and this and this, and I wouldn't be afraid to put myself on camera and blah, blah, blah. Like, ask yourself what your older self would say to you right now. Like, just take a moment for that. What would your 80-year-old self say about this? I'm not trying to discredit the way that you feel, but there's certain things that you, like, we take advantage of and we don't even realize. The way that we look right now, the youth that we have, no matter how old you are, is like a blessing, is a gift. Like, this body, this meat suit is a gift. It's an amazing conduit for creating energy. It's beautiful in its own way. This is telling you probably need to do a social media cleanup, which means, like, for me, I'm a curvy woman, I have larger boobs, and I was following a lot of women that were the opposite body type of that. Not like there's anything wrong with that, it's just I was bombarded with so many of those women every day on my feed because I liked their clothes or I liked their style or whatever, I liked what they were doing, and I just realized this is really eating away at my self-esteem every single day. Like, I'm happy for them, but for some reason I'm just taking it so personally, and I catch myself having these negative thoughts when I'm coming across their feed. So I realized I just need to take that distraction away. So I went out and followed tons of curvy models, girls who had the same like hair type as me and body type and as like aesthetic, and who were the same height as me, and like that helped me so much. Like, I have so many of those women coming up on my feed every day, and I'm just like, yes, girl. I followed women who were even more overweight than me, people who were like just gorgeous and like had maybe different body types or more extreme body type than me, and I was just like, yes, girl, like this is making me feel so confident in myself, just seeing other women who have my body type rocking it. So that's what I would suggest. Like, if you're non-binary, follow as many non-binary people as you can that like remind you of yourself. You're a unique person, but everyone's got doppelgangers for sure. If you are somebody who's transitioning right now, who's trans and on that journey, then find more people who are on that journey, and maybe unfollow anybody you feel makes you feel insecure about yourself, okay? And likewise, if you are somebody who's very tall and thin and you're feeling self-conscious that maybe your butt isn't big, or you don't have enough curves or whatever, find women who are long and lanky and lean and who are rocking it, and whatever it is, you can find people out there who are like the cheerleader for you, and that's what I think is cool. Unfollow all the other people, maybe keep a couple. It's not like I only follow people who have my body type. It's just I really make sure I have a lot of that coming up on my feed to remind me this is normal. There's other people out there like me, okay? So let's say you have a nose that you don't like and it looks a certain way and you don't like the way your nose looks. Try to find people out there who have your nose or a nose that's similar, who are just cute and rocking what they got, and follow them. So these are just random ideas. If you have freckles and you hate them, find girls out there that have freckles or guys or whatever, and where they're rocking it and it looks cute. You can use the hashtags to find all these people. So that's kind of my message to you. Start playing with this idea of accepting yourself authentically for who you are. Because when you start to see yourself differently, the world will respond to you differently. Ooh. Once I started just being like, you know what, I'm just gonna be confident, even if I have to fake it, and I'm just gonna do everything I can to like just work with what I got. I started doing my makeup more, learning how to do my hair. I started figuring out what colors look good on my skin tone. Like, I just started playing around and just having fun with me and allowing myself to just be me. And I started celebrating it instead of hating it. And I just started noticing, like, people started reacting to me differently, and that's confidence. It's something you have to work at in the beginning, but you're gonna get good at this. So this is an aesthetic message today. We can work on ourselves on the inside, which we talked about inner work, but outer work helps as well. So I'm happy for you. It's okay if you always have body dysmorphia or always feel weird about this. That's totally normal, but just keep bringing it to your conscious self-love. And it's not about being perfect or loving yourself 100%. It's just trying. I hope that this resonates with you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. So for those of you guys who choose number 3, let's go ahead and get your card. So this is the Chameleon card. I feel like this is like the cutest card in the whole deck. This is actually a message that you're gonna be moving soon. Like, this is why I made this Chameleon card, because I was starting to get at the time I was getting an intuition that I was gonna be moving. and I wanted to move and I had the desire to move, and I was like preparing myself and my energy to move. Moving somewhere is like a big deal. You're packing stuff up, you're releasing stuff, you're going to a new environment. Even if it's just moving down the street or moving to a different neighborhood, or if it's moving across country, whatever it is, it's still a big deal. So maybe you're getting this message because you've been trying to manifest a move. You're like really want to move out of your situation. Maybe you've got crazy roommates, or you're still living with your family and you're trying to just figure out, how am I going to get on my own 2 feet? Maybe you're stuck with living with somebody that you want to break up with, but you can't financially afford it yet. So you're just like, I just want to get out of this relationship. I want to move out. I want to be on my own. Or maybe you just want an upgrade. You want a bigger apartment, bigger house, or maybe your neighborhood is frustrating. Maybe you're just gonna be investing in property or be getting into real estate or something like that. This is just a message about moving, changing environments. Your environments are changing. If you're not moving house, it could be that you're moving jobs, or you're gonna be going to a new school or something like that. It could be like it's just like a different environment that is changing around you. So it's a physical change. If you don't resonate with this, I would suggest picking another card before we go deeper, or maybe this is an omen you could be moving. But this is definitely about a physical move. So the message for you here is, regarding this move, one soft step after another will get you where you want to be. Know who and what you are can be altered by your actions. So this is telling you to take action. You've had this goal for so long, and what's holding you back could be finances maybe, or it could be just feeling as if it's possible, or maybe you just haven't spent the time researching this. It just doesn't become real for you. You just think, one day I'll do this when I can, but you don't realize in order to make it happen, you have to take little steps to get there. Like me, you guys all know, if you've been watching my channel a while, I am a digital nomad. I've been traveling the world for 2 years. This was a goal of mine. There was a point in time where I just had $20 in my bank account. I was barely paying rent. I had roommates, and I was just like kind of unemployed, and just like, well, I have this big dream. Maybe one day I'll do it. But this dream didn't happen for me until I sat down. I drew on a piece of paper like this little thermometer thing. I labeled it off in $50 increments. I made a plan, and I researched how much money I would need, like thousands of dollars. I put that at the top of the chart. I started with $0, $50, $100, $150, $200, and I labeled it all the way up to like $6,000 or something like that. And I was just like, okay, how am I gonna get the first $50? And I started there. And I was like, well, probably have to open up a savings account. So I'm gonna get $50 and I'm gonna open up my savings account. Got the first $50. All right, how am I gonna get the next $100? And also pay my rent. And also, so the path just led me forward. I was like, maybe I should babysit on the weekends. Maybe I should try this nanny website. Maybe I should get a second job. Maybe I should, maybe I should stop buying expensive groceries at the organic grocery store, even though I love that, and start doing budget meals. Maybe I should stop splurging on, going to cabins with my friends and pitching in $300 so we can all party for the weekend. Instead of that, just be like, sorry, I can't go. And yeah, maybe I should stop buying a bunch of clothes online. So it's just like, I'm just laughing because oftentimes it's that little stuff the little tiny things that keep us from saving up to move. Okay, I'm getting real. Maybe some of you guys are here and you're wealthy. I know there's a lot of wealthy people following me. There's all different types of people following me. So obviously this part of the message isn't for you, but I'm just feeling like I'm talking to some people or somebody out there who thinks they don't have the money. It's not possible. Obviously, at the time we're doing this message, we're in lockdown. You might not have a job. You might not have a paycheck coming in, but you have your mind, you have your brain, and you can research. You can make a vision board of what kind of place you want. You can make that little thermometer thing and make a plan. And as soon as you're able to, once you get your job, your finances is in order, pay off the credit cards, whatever, then you can start this path. Or you can do it at the same time. I was paying off a little bit of debt while I was saving to move and travel. And I was able to leave it only took me like less than a year to save up that money, even in like a situation where I wasn't making very much, and even like with a little bit of debt at the time. And I left to travel with money in my pocket and with no debt. So it's possible. It's the little steps. That's what this chameleon energy has taught me. It's the little things. It's not like waiting for a miracle. It's not, when you manifest, it's not always the universe just brings it to you. Like, you're part of the universe. You're an extension of the universe. So you got to take your little steps. So this is telling you, let's see. This is a message to you that you're adaptable. There might be some things in your life that are out of your control, but you don't doubt your ability to adapt. News of changing environments. So this is a positive omen that like opportunities are coming in, you're gonna get what you've asked for, like you're gonna end up in a better place. It's a really, really beautiful message. So I hope that this resonates with you, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. So for those of you guys who choose number 4, let's go ahead and get your message. So this was my failed attempt at drawing a penguin. Looks a little sad. So your message here with the penguin card is determination and focus are key for you right now. Know that there is order coming out of this chaos you now see before you. So I remember when I wrote this card, and it was after a very chaotic period in my life. This chaotic period lasted about a month or two, and I just felt like I was in a place where I literally could not do anything. I couldn't change anything. I felt like I had lost my control, and I felt like I was just like forced to surrender and just kind of wait and see approach. And so during that time, the only thing I could really focus on was just self-care. Taking care of my body, taking care of my spirit, taking care of my energy. So during that time, I was just like meditating, chilling, painting, trying not to freak out. And once I finally got on the other side, I remember like wishing I could go back in time and tell myself, you're gonna be okay. Like, there's order coming out of this chaos. Sometimes the most chaos happens right before your dreams come true. Like, I realized that was just energy shaping and shifting to help bring me my manifestation and what I had asked for. And it was just the process. It's not always a smooth process when you manifest things. Everything isn't always just la-di-da. Sometimes you have to lose things or create space or make some sacrifices and or go through some weird shift before a big manifestation comes in. So I wrote this card to like remind myself that in the future, that if things feel chaotic, there could be a silver lining. And it doesn't mean that I can't freak out about the chaos, or I don't have to, like, I can still feel my emotions during the chaos, but in the back of my mind to always remind myself, there's gotta be something in this for me. There's gotta be something in this for me. That's like my biggest mantra. So the message for you here with this penguin card is the period of darkness that you have been experiencing is now ending. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. By moving forward with your plans and your dreams and handling each small piece as it comes to you, you will see the light at the end of this tunnel. It is usually the most chaotic just before a big breakthrough happens. Wonderful. That's where I'm gonna leave you at today, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing messages from my personal deck. Let me know, should I do this again? Should I tell you guys more about my journey and take you through this deck and some more pick a card readings? I'd be interested to see what you think. Peace out.